It's the one night of the year where all the championships in World Wrestling Entertainment are on the line. Hello, friends. It's Ridiculously Over Anthony Floyer here with you for the WWE Night of Champions 2015 preview special, right, of the special edition of the Wrestling Forum. I am joined tonight by my partner in crime in the Yes Movement, our one and only phenom, Mr. Michael Bullock. Bad news on two fronts. First off, our Imperial Grand Poobah, the hardcore pipe bomb Derek Ferreira, will not be joining us tonight as he is enjoying his weekend sabbatical because of his sports blog commitments. And on the other side, our Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, he will not be joining us either. I'm sure he's got plans of his own. And there's no Derek and there's no Fletch. You know what that means. The Yes Movement is running the show here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yes.
Woo!
And we're not just doing one show tonight. You know what? We're feeling so saucy. We're doing two shows tonight, people.
It's two for the price of one, baby.
Double header. First, we're going to preview Night of Champions, and then following this, we will have Strictly Sports, NFL Saturday, Week 2. Oh yeah, we got a lot to say on that. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Of course, Night of Champions will be live tomorrow night from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Pre-show match, of course, is a six-man tag team match. Neville and the Lucha Dragons going up against the Cosmic Wasteland, Stardust, and the Ascension. I think Mr. Bullock and I are pretty much in agreement here. I think Neville and the Luchas are going to go over. Do you feel the same way on that, Mr. Bullock?
Oh, definitely. I do too have the Neville and the Lucha Dragons going over, even though Fletcher, even though you posted that Fletcher thinks Cosmic Wasteland, which is Stardust and the Ascension, is going to win.
No, I think he said he had Lucha. I think he had Neville and the Luchas too.
I thought he said Cosmic Wasteland was going to win.
No, he had Neville and the Luchas going over. So
all right, so I'm definitely wrong on that. So
no
I don't think there's any need to waste our time on this match.
No, sir. All right.
Let's just get to the bread and butter, which is the main card for the
main card. Yes, the main card of Night of Champions, of course. Since it is Night of Champions, we'll save the championship matches for after. There are two non-title matches that we're going to get into. And we're going to start it off with Dolph Ziggler. He's going one-on-one with Rusev. Of course, Rusev will have Summer Rae in his corner. Unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler will not have Lana. Of course, suffering a wrist injury while training a few weeks ago. She's out 4 months. Who knows when we'll see her again. But here we are. Nonetheless, this feud's been going on for a while now. Of course, we all remember what happened last month at SummerSlam. Unfortunately, the match ended in a double countout, a cop-out finish, one of the dreaded 3 strikes of this year's SummerSlam. You already know what the other two are. We're not going to rehash what the other two were.
Which prevented what could have been probably the greatest SummerSlam of all time.
Oh, most definitely. It would have been a SummerSlam for the ages, no doubt about it. But nonetheless, this matchup here, we'll see. I don't really know. If this thing is going to be any good. Because remember, SummerSlam. The SummerSlam match started out really good, and then unfortunately the cop-out finish really ruined it. So, could this be the blow-off here? There's a good chance it could be, considering what's going on with Lana and, of course, all this extracurricular nonsense, which has turned into one of the worst wrestling angles I've seen in a long time, since the dreaded
BS nonsense, if I might correct you on that.
Oh, definitely, yeah, BS nonsense indeed. One of the worst. It's the worst angle I've seen in wrestling since the dreaded Claire Lynch angle in TNA a few years ago.
I don't think I want to know about that, and it's a good thing I don't watch TNA.
Good thing you don't, because if you did and you saw that angle, you'd want to. If you saw that angle,
I would have crapped all over that.
Yeah,
and I would have gotten my my quote unquote Undertaker shovel and buried somebody's ass 6 feet under with that feud.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is not the first time you're going to hear of an Undertaker shovel.
Oh no. We got
regarding to a certain championship match.
Oh yes. But for right now.
We talked about it on the Wrestling Forum, but I'll reiterate it tonight.
Right. But as far as this match is concerned, um, my excitement level is sort of in the middle on this one. I'm not really over the moon excited about this fight, to be honest with you. But it could be a good fight, though, if it's booked properly and given time. But for right now, as far as who wins, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler to win this fight. I really don't know what other way to go, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, after tomorrow night, hopefully this feud is over and we can move on to bigger and better things for both men. Because both of these men deserve better, if I'm being honest. So that's really all there is to say about it. I got Dolph Ziggler winning it. I don't know. It's going to be one of those middle of the road kind of fights, if I'm being honest. I think we're looking at maybe a 2.5-star fight at best. So that's all I can say on that. So give me Dolph Ziggler to defeat Rusev tomorrow night. So with that said, Michael Bullock, Dolph Ziggler, and Rusev, who you got?
Yes. First off, hello, friends. This is the Phenom, Mike Bullock, here for our Night of Champions preview edition of the Wrestling Forum. Yeah. As far as this match goes, yeah. I mean, of course, like you said, we did have that match at SummerSlam, which was getting so good until that double count out finish pretty much took away from it. I mean, it was such a good match, and it's just like you said, that double count out was the first strike of first of the three strikes, which prevented SummerSlam from being probably one of the greatest SummerSlam, if not the greatest SummerSlam of all time. Of course, you know what the other two strikes are. Not even going to get into that. Yeah, this feud. I mean, the wrestling between these two has been good. It's just the angle has just been left a bitter taste in my mouth. I mean, and of course now Lana being out with that wrist injury, she's done for the rest of 2015. So I think with her being out, it doesn't make sense to continue this feud. So I'm in agreement with Anthony Florio. I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler to win this one, and I'm just not sold on Rusev. I mean, let's not forget when he first came in. I mean, he was getting pushed, and then ever since losing the U.S. title to John Cena at WrestleMania, he's pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much been downhill for him, and I mean, the thing is, we talked about what happened. What happens to people who lose to John Cena? They they basically start to go downhill. I mean, you saw same thing that happened with Bray Wyatt last year. So, I mean, if this is the Rusev that we saw during the beginning of his tenure in WWE, I probably would have said Rusev. But in this case, I got to go with Dolph Ziggler to win this one. So, and I'm hoping that this is the blow off here. So, give me Ziggler to win this match. So, with that being said, Florio, let's move on to our next match, which I will get into.
And it's our other non-title match, and it's a big one, the damn sure big one. Six-man tag team matchup. The new Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman, going up against Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and a mystery partner. Ooh, Michael Bullock, big six-man. What do we think?
All right, yeah, this has been ongoing since, of course, Battleground. Well, it all started, of course, at Money in the Bank when Bray Wyatt, of course, cost Roman Reigns a chance to become Mr. Money in the Bank, and then, of course, they had a matchup, of course, at Battleground, which Bray Wyatt won thanks to some help from Luke Harper, and then, of course, at SummerSlam, you had that tag team match with Harper and Wyatt against Reigns and Ambrose, which Reigns and Ambrose won that. So now you got the big Braun Strowman, and now the question is who's going to be that third partner? Well, they've been trying to find it, and whoever has been agreed upon to it has been getting basically fed to Braun Strowman. I mean, take a look at Randy Orton, for example. I mean, this is a 13-time world champion, and he got tossed around like he was a done enhancement talent. And And then, of course, Jimmy Uso suffered the wrath of Braun Strowman. So this guy is a freak. Uh, so now the question is, who is going to be that mystery partner? Could it be Randy Orton? Could it be Jimmy Uso? Could it be somebody we didn't expect? Now, here's one I mean, that I think could that's a possibility. And I'm not saying he's going to be the partner, but I'm just throwing this out as an option. What if it could be a certain great one, The Rock? Could he be the partner? Because remember what they talked about, that this is like a an ongoing like a family feud, so of course with the Wyatt family, and of course the brotherhood of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So what if it could be The Rock that could be the, because remember, they're like cousins in real time. And let's not forget, because The Rock basically helped out Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble match. So I'm not saying The Rock's going to be the partner. I mean, it's just something that's I'm basically throwing out there, but we'll have to wait and see come tomorrow night. Now, as far as who wins here, I'm gonna have to go with the Wyatt family to win this one, because Reigns and Ambrose got the win at SummerSlam. You know they're gonna give the win back to the Wyatt family. So Wyatt's win this one. And that being said, Florio, who you got, and what are your thoughts of the possibility of maybe The Rock could join them? I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just something to think about.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, McLeod. I mean, I've heard some rumblings about that myself, but nonetheless, I mean, this six man here, I think the six man is going to be a really good one. It's definitely going to be one of my top fights of the night, because I got a good feeling.
Yeah, same here with me. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I'm thinking we could be looking at a solid 3 to 3.5 at the absolute best, if given enough time and whatnot. But I wasn't going to mention this because I wanted it to be a surprise if this individual was indeed the partner, but I actually read a dirt sheet. Now, just like you, Mr. Bullock, I'm not necessarily saying this individual could be the mystery partner, but this is just another option. But this is one I came across on a dirt sheet. A certain yes man, if you know what I mean.
Oh man, if it turns out to be him, you know what I'm gonna be doing watching this?
Me too.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. But I don't see. But somehow I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't either. But there was a possibility. I read a dirt sheet saying that there was a slight chance that Daniel Bryan could be the mystery partner of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Because there was a report at first saying Baron Corbin from NXT, but that turned out to be false and erroneous. Um, Randy Orton, I don't know if it could be Randy Orton, because Randy Orton wants a lighter work schedule now. He wants that Shawn Michaels part-time type schedule now. So I really doubt it's going to be him. But could be anybody. But The Rock is a possibility. Michael Bullock, absolutely. Daniel Bryan, that was a dirt sheet I came across a few days ago. But nonetheless, whoever it is, this is a tough one. I mean, I know Fletcher has the Wyatt family. I know you've got them too, Bullock. But I mean, considering that the Wyatts have gotten over on Reigns and Ambrose for so many weeks now, ever since the addition of Braun Strowman, um, I got this feeling that the Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose team and the mystery partner could end up being the winners here. Because I got a feeling this mystery partner is going to end up being the difference maker. So whether it's The Rock or Daniel Bryan or whoever it is, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the mystery partner. That's just how I feel about it. So it should be one of the top fights of the night. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great one. So 3 to 3.5 is my potential rating for that. So all right, now we're going to get into the real bread and butter now, the championship matches. So with that said, let's start it off with the Divas Championship. This is definitely the one that we're all going to have a vested interest in. Nikki Bella to defend against Charlotte. Of course, we all know what happened Monday Night on Raw, on the quote-unquote season premiere of Monday Night Raw in Memphis at FedEx Forum. I mean, it was turning out to be a very good match, but unfortunately, some twin magic shenanigans got in the way once again. But this cop out finish made sense because I think they obviously want. I mean, Charlotte petitioned the authority to move the title match up to sooner, and the authority granted the request, and that's why we had the match Monday night. And then there was the shenanigans, and then Stephanie comes out and says that the match is a disqualification. Charlotte, you win, but you don't win the belt. So Nikki Bella is still the champion. And then of course they celebrate, and then of course this past week on SmackDown there was supposed to be a celebration, but unfortunately that went up in smoke.
Which much to my delight.
And mine too. But nonetheless, Nikki Bella and Charlotte meet again. This time the title's on the line. And here's the big caveat that Stephanie threw out there. And a big if Nikki Bella, I mean, we already know, title changes hands by pinfall or submission. But if Nikki Bella is either counted out or disqualified, she loses the belt. So there's really no way out for Nikki Bella. She's got to put up her shut up here. So
yeah, no championship advantage for her.
No twin magic BS either. And if I'm going to be honest with you, if I was running things, what I would do, Becky Lynch, Paige, Brie Bella, Alicia Fox, you're all banned from ringside. Straight up one-on-one championship match. Let's find out who the real best diva is right now. And going into tomorrow night, Nikki Bella, this will mark night number 301 for Nikki Bella as the Divas champion. And let's face it, she doesn't have that championship advantage. Hopefully, she doesn't have that political advantage, of course, because of you-know-who, John Cena, obviously, for BS, if you will. So let me just say it like this. It's been long enough. You got what you wanted. You distanced yourself from AJ Lee because of CM Punk, which is obvious, because there's a lot of bad blood there. Everybody knows that. It's long enough. It's time. Nikki Bella, you've had a nice run, a very nice run. But I think it's time to step aside and let someone else have a run with it. And I can't think of a better one to do it than Charlotte Flair herself. So Charlotte Flair, to me, will be the winner and the new Divas champion. And like I said on Monday Night on the Wrestling Forum, I'm going to say it right here and again. And I know Michael Bullock's going to back me up when we get to him. If, God forbid, they put Nikki Bella over, gloves are coming off, ridiculously over, is going to have one of his biggest rants tomorrow night on our recap show with Michael Fletcher. Believe that. I'm not saying anything else. You already heard me say this on the forum. I'm not going to reiterate, because we got a lot to do, so I don't want to waste any more time. So, winner and new Divas champion, Charlotte, and hopefully this will end up being. Now, here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be a 5-star classic like Bayley and Sasha Banks had at TakeOver Brooklyn. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But I do hope that we get at least another 3 to 3.5 star fight. Please, give this thing a lot of time. No BS. No shenanigans. And please, God forbid, put Charlotte Flair over and let Ric Flair be there. So him and Charlotte can have that emotional father-daughter moment that we all want to see. Trust me, nobody wants it more than I know, Bullock, I know you want it too, man, but nobody wants it more than I do because of the fact that I'm the Ric Flair mark of our group. So that's all there is to say about that. Charlotte Flair, the new WWE Divas champion. Book it. Michael Bullock, how do you follow that?
I don't even know how the heck am I going to follow that, but I'm going to try. But yeah, we had this match, of course, on Monday Night Raw, and of course we all know what happened with that BS finish at the end with the IWC basically pissed all over. Of course, we all thought Charlotte had won, but that freaking twin magic, which I cannot stand for goodness sakes, had to come into play. And Stephanie McMahon comes out and says, "You pinned the wrong Bella. It was Brie Bella." So, yes, so you win the match, but it's by disqualification. And that means the title cannot change hands. So, the winner and still your Divas champion, Nikki Bella. So, she is now the longest reigning Divas champ of all time. So, I But and Night of Champions, like you said, Nikki Bella has no championship advantage. If she gets disqualified or counted out, not only will she lose the match, she will also lose the title. And I expect this match to be a whole lot better than what we saw on Raw. And I do agree it's not going to top the 5-star match that we saw with Bayley and Sasha Banks at the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn special. But I do expect maybe 3 to 3.5 at the absolute best, if given the right amount of time. Please, WWE, you got what you wanted. You wanted to distance yourself from AJ Lee. You wanted to distance yourself from CM Punk. It's time to drop the belt from Nikki Bella and to give it to Charlotte. I want this to be a good match and no favoritism. Of course, we all know who it is, John Cena. So I'm in agreement. I'm going to say Charlotte will be your winner and new Divas champion. And I'm going to back Anthony Florio on this one. If Nikki Bella is still, if they put Nikki Bella over and have her still as the Divas champ, watch out. Phenom's coming out big time. I'm going to go on a major, big time Phenom rant. Probably one of the biggest rants I've ever done. And also, I will have my Phenom shovel out. Or should I say, not just Phenom, but the Undertaker shovel out. Because I'm going to bury someone's ass 6 feet under if they even have the if they have the balls to put Nikki Bella over. Whoever that person is, you're going to get buried 6 feet under in a pile of dirt and mud, just like The Undertaker does to his opponents. I'm putting that warning out right now. Let this be a warning to you, WWE, because you do not, and I repeat, you do not want to piss off this Phenom. Otherwise, shovel's coming out, your ass is getting buried. Charlotte wins, becomes your Divas champion, book it, and you can believe that. Woo! Florio, let's move on to our next match. How do you follow that?
I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. All right. Moving on to our next matchup here. Our next championship match. The Tag Team Championship on the line. Champions The New Day, defending against those damn Dudleys. What else is there to say? Michael Bullock, tag team titles on the line. Are we gonna have ourselves a trip back in time, or are we gonna keep it current? Your thoughts?
All right. When it comes to this, yeah. I of course we the Dudley Boys making their shocking return at the night after Monday Night Raw, surprising everyone, and basically they put Xavier, and then it's been a back and forth when it comes to these two. So can the Dudley Boys continue that? Can they capture another tag team championship? I hate to say this. I mean, I really want it to happen, but I'll tell you this: Dudley Boys will win the match, but I think it's going to be by disqualification because I think you're going to get some interference from Xavier Woods, because he's going to have a little bit of a role in this match. So I still think it will be a good match, but I think Xavier Woods is going to be the difference maker, and so I got those Dan Dudleys winning, but it's going to be by disqualification. So, Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah, Michael Fletcher felt the same way. And by the way, he also has Charlotte going over Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship, and he also has Ziggler over Rusev. So, but he also had the Wyatt. So, but anyways, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we all remember it was the night after SummerSlam. those damn Dudleys shocked the world and made their surprise return to World Wrestling Entertainment after spending the last several years down in TNA, where they had some pretty good success. I mean, Devon, or him and Devon, of course, were former TNA World Tag Team Champions on a few occasions, and also got inducted into their Hall of Fame last year. I believe it was last year, or was it the year before? No, it was last year. Yes, it was last year. Inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, um, along with Sting, Kurt Angle, and of course this year's inductee, Jeff Jarrett. And they will also have a new inductee in a couple of weeks. Senior referee Earl Hebner will also be going into their Hall of Fame as well. So special shout out to Earl Hebner. But nonetheless, as far as this is concerned, I mean, like I said, Devon, a former tag champion with Bubba and TNA, also a TNA television champion as well. But Bubba, when he was Bully Ray, had the biggest success. I mean, a tag champion with Devon, and of course a former two-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion as part of the Aces and Eights. But story for another day. But as far as this is concerned, though, great to see Bubba and Devon back in the WWE. I mean, like I said, they had some moderate success in TNA, but it's great to see them back where they truly belong, and that is in WWE. And it's old school versus new school. The old school, the Dudleys, of course, who have won every tag team championship you can imagine. ECW, WWF, WCW, World Tag Team Championship, WWE Tag Team Championship on SmackDown, a number of years ago when they went over Charlie Haas and Rico on a SmackDown in the summer of '04. But nonetheless, 24-time tag team champions. Can they make it 25? I'd love to see it. We'd all love to see it. That would be a mark-out moment for all of us. But at the end of the day, though, I definitely agree with Fletch and Bullock on this. I think the Dudleys, those damn Dudleys, will win, but by disqualification because of the fact that I think either on a future Raw or SmackDown, or maybe even next month at Hell in a Cell at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, I think you know where we're heading here. I think there's going to be a possible tables match down the road. We've seen the New Day. We've seen the New Day come out with these ridiculous signs and, save the wood and all that. And of course, protesting about, how the Dudleys have been putting people through tables. I mean, I got to see that firsthand when I went to the SmackDown taping in Providence, last month. When I got to see Bubba put one of the Ascension boys, I believe it was Victor of the Ascension, through a table, which was pretty cool. But nonetheless, though, Dudleys will win, but by disqualification. It should be a solid fight. Probably going to be a 2 to 2.5 star fight, if I'm being honest with you. But this feud's going to be far from over. It's going to be a DQ finish. Dudleys will get a rematch, and when they do get that rematch, I fully expect it to be a tables match. And when that happens, then and only then, those damn Dudleys will become the WWE Tag Team Champions one more time. So with that said, let's move on to our next championship match. This is going to be for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Champion Ryback, Feed Me More, the big guy, going up against Kevin Owens. This, to me, is going to be a very good match here. I mean, we know what Kevin Owens has done. Kevin Owens, got the call up from NXT. We saw him debut at NXT when the NXT where Sami Zayn won the NXT Heavyweight Championship from Adrian Neville in that 5-star classic of a match, unforgettable to say the very least. And then of course he would go on to attack him during the celebration. And then 2 months later at the NXT show in February, Owens dominated Sami Zayn, beat him to a pulp, and captured the NXT Heavyweight Championship. Held it for a good 4 to 5 months before losing it, of course, to Finn Balor at the Beast in the East special in Tokyo, Japan, and failed to regain it in that ladder match rematch at TakeOver Brooklyn. But he had a chance, of course, at Battleground to win the United States Heavyweight Championship from John Cena. Unfortunately, Super Cena went over again, much to my chagrin, because I honestly felt Owens should have won that. But maybe this was the reason why they held it off. Maybe they wanted to give Owens the chance to go after another title here. and we got to give kudos to Derek Ferrera, because Derek Ferrera was the one who pretty much thought that this fight was going to happen. So, if you remember when Derek did his Night of Champions prediction blog, when he did his when he predicted on what the matches were going to be, this was the match he had for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So major kudos to our hardcore python. But nonetheless, though, should be a very good match here. I'm thinking it's going to be a 2.5 to 3 star fight at best, considering Ryback. But hey, you know, I think Kevin Owens could get a very good match out of Ryback, because we all know Kevin Owens' body of work. You know, from his days in the Ring of Honor when he was Kevin Steen, the Antichrist of professional wrestling, and then of course here he is now as Kevin Owens, already with an NXT Championship run. And if he wins the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, can he do what some other guys have been unable to do? And that's bring credibility and prestige back to it. Go back to WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan wins the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and that 7-man ladder match was a very good match and set the tone for what ended up being a damn good WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco. But nonetheless, we all thought Daniel Bryan was easily going to bring credibility and prestige back to the Intercontinental title. But unfortunately, that did not happen, as his injuries rehashed. He had a relapse with the injuries, you know, from last year. You know, after he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30, the Miracle on Bourbon Street, and that pretty much put an end to that. And then Ryback, of course, would win the vacated Intercontinental Heavyweight title in, of course, the Elimination Chamber match at Elimination Chamber at the end of May. And we all remember that ended up being the worst Elimination Chamber match of all time. That thing sucked. I mean, it was fine, but it just sucked. It just wasn't the usual Elimination Chamber standards. So, but Ryback, you know, Ryback's had a decent run with it. I mean, you know, the fans have been maybe the most receptive for him as ever. I mean, he's definitely gotten over. He's definitely one of the top baby faces in WWE. He's the big guy. I mean, him and Owens, you know, had that great promo segment on Raw Monday night. But nonetheless, Ryback's had a great run over about 3.5 months. But I think it ends here. I really do. I think Kevin Owens is going to win the match, and Kevin Owens is going to become the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And if anybody can bring credibility and prestige back to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, a title that needs it more than any other, I think fight Owens fight. I think that's the man who can do it. Don't screw this up, WWE. You already screwed him once. You already screwed him out of the U.S. Heavyweight title. You honestly should have put him over on that one. But if you were saving him for this, God forbid, if you get it right, it's not often they do, but if they get this one right, Kevin Owens will be your new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And I'm going with it. Owens is winning the belt tomorrow night. Michael Bullock, what say you?
Yes, I do too. I do too. Have Kevin Owens winning this match and becoming your new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. I mean, and I think this could be a good match. I mean, we've seen what Kevin Owens has done since coming to the main roster. I mean, him and John Cena have had 3 really good matches. Either it's been a 5-star classic or close to a 5-star classic. And then, of course, you had Kevin Owens and Cesaro at SummerSlam, which also turned out to be a real good match. And I think he can make Ryback look good in this match. And I know some people, they've been receptive to Ryback as the Intercontinental Champion. But they need someone to bring prestige back to that Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And that really needs it more than anything else. So, Ryback, I really like you, man. But it ends here. Kevin Owens wins and becomes your new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Florio, let's move on to our next title match.
You're going to start it off, my man, and I know this is one you're definitely going to have a vested interest in, because this one, it's the doubleheader for Seth Rollins, and the first one we're going to get into, the United States Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins defending against the challenger and former champion of course, being that you know who it is, the Golden Boy himself, John Cena. A bold prediction I made during one of our broadcasts a number of weeks ago. So, with that said, Michael Bullock, Seth Rollins, John Cena, United States Heavyweight Championship was all yours, man.
All right. Yes. This has. I think this is going to be another one of the top fights of the night. I would have to say maybe. I think this is going to be the fight of the night, in my opinion. Because of the body of work of these two. Well, and of course, this was the fight of the night at at SummerSlam when it was title for title. But the thing is, we had that second strike, which was that the BS finish with Jon Stewart interfering and costing John Cena the U.S. Championship. I think this will be another good match, and I don't think we'll get any authority shenanigans. I'm hoping not, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think this is going to be the fight of the night in my estimation. Now, who wins this? I mean, Seth Rollins already has two. I mean, he's got two belts now. The thing is, it doesn't make sense for him to have two belts. So the thing is, I think he's going to drop the U.S. Championship, and I think it's going to go back to John Cena. So I got John Cena winning this match, and once again, your United States Heavyweight Championship, your United States Heavyweight Champion, and of course, you know what that means. It'll be the return of the John Cena United States Championship Open Challenge, and it's because of that. That's why he brought prestige back to the United States Championship. So, and if you put the title back on him, you know we're gonna get more of those U.S. Open challenges. So I got John Cena winning and regaining the United States Heavyweight Championship. Florio, who you got?
I agree with you. I agree with you on all counts. This is most certainly, in my opinion, going to be the fight of the night. I mean, it was at some. I mean, the last couple of times we've seen these two get together. I mean, you remember that match on Monday Night Raw? The one I believe it was in San Jose when Rollins and Cena met for the U.S. title. Back when Cena, when Cena successfully defended it. I mean, that was a 4 1/4, 4.5 star fight, and then the SummerSlam fight, a good solid 4 to 4 1/4 stars. It was the fight of the night. Unfortunately, of course, it was marred by the outside interference, the flagrant outside interference, I might add, of one Jon Stewart, which really ruined that fight. And that was the second strike of this year's SummerSlam. Of course, the third and final strike, of course, being the controversial finish to the Undertaker Brock Lesnar match. But nonetheless, this is going to be a great match. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be better than the SummerSlam fight. I expect it to be I expect it to get a good amount of time. I expect it to get a good 20 to 25 minutes, if I'm being honest. And I also expect it to be a 4 1/4 to 4.5 star fight, if I'm being honest. As far as the other fight goes, Ryback and Owens, I think that's going to be a solid 3-star fight at best. But in this one here, I'm thinking maybe 4 1/4 or even 4.5 if all goes well. Hopefully, no BS finish. Hopefully, Hopefully, we'll get all those great near falls, and we'll get that Shakespearean drama that we crave each and every time out. But United States Heavyweight Championship, it's one of the most prestigious championships in all of professional wrestling, dating back to the days of the NWA and WCW. Harley Race was the very first champion, and a lot of legends and Hall of Famers have held that title. From the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the late great American Dream Dusty Rhodes, also another late great Rowdy Roddy Piper, a former champion, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Bret the Hitman Hart, Diamond Dallas Page, another late great Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. I mean, Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA. I mean, I could go on and on and on about all the great legends and Hall of Famers who have held the very prestigious, of course, the late great Eddie Guerrero. You can't forget about Eddie Guerrero. And, of course, Chris Benoit, former champion, JBL, Cena. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on, my friends. It's as long as our arms. But Rollins holds it now. I mean, he got that big moment at SummerSlam, but the champ's going to be here, folks. John Cena's going to regain the United States Heavyweight Championship. This is one time I'm actually hoping for a Cena victory. I mean, I know a lot of those in the IWC hate John Cena's guts, because he's always over and everything else. But this is one time I'd be okay with it. You know why I would be? Because they would bring back, hopefully they bring it back, the John Cena United States Heavyweight Championship Open Challenges. And you've seen them all. I mean, damn near every one of them, except for like one or two, were all instant classics. None more classic than those two classics he had with Cesaro. I mean, those were freaking unbelievable. So that's all I can say on that. So, winner and new United States Heavyweight Champion once again. The champ is here, John Cena, your new champion. Michael Fletcher agrees with all of us. So we're looking at 4 to 4.5 in the fight of the night. All right, and now to what I am hoping this is the main event, and I think it should be the main event, to be quite honest with you, considering considering what we have in this match. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins will be defending against the Icon, the Vigilante, Sting. Oh my. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship. What can we say about this title? Legends among legends and Hall of Famers. Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Bret the Hitman Hart, Randy Macho Man Savage, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. Oh, goodness. Randy Orton, Sheamus.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Absolutely, Michael Cole. Yes, I'd be an idiot if I didn't mention him. Kane, even though it was only for a cup of coffee. I mean, legends. I mean, Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar, John Cena. I mean, even The Miz, for God's sakes. You name it, they've held it. Legends have held this most prestigious championship. Of course, you got Rollins who holds it now. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention another one of my personal favorites, Kurt Angle. I mean, legends among legends. The Icon Sting, one of the greatest legends in the history of professional wrestling. 14-time World Heavyweight Champion. I know each and every one of his reigns. Ric Flair, Great American Bash, 1990. Lex Luger, Super Brawl, 1992. Vader, House Show, London, England, March 11th, 93. The late great Ravishing Rick Rude, Spring Stampede, 94. Vader again in a vacant title match, Slamboree, 94. Hulk Hogan, Starrcade, 1997. Hulk Hogan again, Super Brawl, 1998. Diamond Dallas Page on a Monday Nitro, April 26, 1999, Fargo, North Dakota. Hulk Hogan a third time, Fall Brawl, 1999. And then he went to TNA. He beat Jeff Jarrett, Bound for Glory, 2006, Kurt Angle, special referee. Bound for Glory, 2007, beat Kurt Angle. Bound for Glory, 2008. He beat Samoa Joe with help from Kevin Nash. On an Impact Wrestling taping, he beat Jeff Hardy. March 3rd, 2011, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And then the final, his last world title win, the Stinger, July 14th, 2011, another Impact Wrestling taping against Mr. Anderson, better known for all you WWE marks as Mr. Kennedy. That's the list, folks. Can you do it one more time? If Sting does it tomorrow night, he makes history. Why does Sting make history? Not just because he's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion for the first time, but he would become the oldest man to win the title. The previous oldest, who's the oldest to have won it? It was none other than Hulk Hogan. When he beat Triple H, Backlash, 2002, he was 48 years old. Sting goes over and wins the belt, 56 years old. Do you ever think in this day and age, that you would see, we could possibly see a 56-year-old man become the champion of the world. What a story. You want to talk about comeback stories? This would be a comeback story for the ages, man. Honestly, I want to see it. I want to see it. I'm all for history, man. You all know me. You all know how much I love to see history made at a certain time. What a moment this would be. This would be a trip back in time if Sting goes over and becomes the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Should be a solid match. I'm thinking around 2.5 to 3, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, considering, remember, Sting is 56 years old. But then again, Triple H, who's 45, well, yeah, he was 45 going into WrestleMania. They ended up having one of the best matches of the show, if not the fight of the show. Well, actually, no, it wasn't the fight of the show. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar was the fight of the show. Everybody remembers that. But nonetheless, I'm not expecting one of those Sting and Ric Flair classics, from the 80s, out of the very first Clash of the Champions, March the 27th of '88, which was, of course, the night that was also the same night as WrestleMania 4, where Macho Man Randy Savage made history, winning the tournament and becoming the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion there. But I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to say the Stinger does it. I think Sting's going to do it. Sting's going to become the new champ. But wait, I think we are all fully expecting, including Michael Fletcher. I think this is going to be the night when the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, will make us all respect the Hawk. He's going to cash in Money in the Bank, and Sheamus will end the night as the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion for a third time. 4th overall. So a lot to digest, I know. But Sting's going to beat Rollins, and Sheamus is going to turn around and beat Sting. And Sheamus will be the new champion. Even though I want to see Sting get at least a decent run with it, if I'm going to be honest. That would be awesome. So with that said, Sting wins, but Sheamus is going to cash in. All right, Michael Bullock, I know that's a lot to take in, but let's get your thoughts. I know how much you're interested. I know how much of a vested interest you've got in this one. So let's have it. What do you think?
Oh, definitely got a lot of interest in this. So, I mean, I never would have thought that Sting would be challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And, I mean, he just debuted at, he debuted at Survivor Series, and his first official match was, of course, at WrestleMania against Triple H. Of course, he did have another match, of course, which is, of course, this past Monday night on Raw, which was against the Big Show. But the thing is, it was a cop-out finish. But he did team with John Cena to, of course, beat Seth Rollins and Sting. And now he's going to be fighting for the world title. I mean, that would be something to see Sting become the youngest. To become the oldest WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Wow, I never would have thought it. And I'll actually agree with you. I think Sting is going to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and I think this is also the night where Sheamus cashes in Money in the Bank and becomes the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So, really got nothing more to say except, Florio, let's put a bow on this preview show. Well, first off, let's give how we think it's going to turn out.
Yes. So what are your overall thoughts on this show, Michael Bullock, and also feel free to share some of your favorite championship memories with all the championships that are involved.
All right. What do you mean when it comes to that? Like championships overall?
Yeah, your favorite, some of your memories of the Divas Championship, the tag team, and some of your brief thoughts on, and of course the overall thoughts on your overall projection for tomorrow night. Overall projection rating and whatnot.
All right. Well, when it comes to each title, when it comes to, of course, the Divas title, it's been around for a while, and of course, uh, I remember, of course, I think it was Michelle McCool who became the first Divas champion, wasn't she?
Yes, that was against Natalia at the 2008 Great American Bash at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. Yes,
Yeah, I remember watching that, and she became the first ever Divas champ, and that's how it happened. I mean, that's the best thing I'll remember was when Michelle McCool became the first ever Divas champion, and then of course, who could ever forget AJ Lee's run with the Divas title uh, before Nikki Bella surpassing her? So she did have some all right matches during that time with the Divas title. So yeah, so those are what stand out to me when it comes to the Divas title, and of course the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, a lot of history with that title. Of course, the things I'll remember with that. I mean, who could ever forget WrestleMania 3, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? That was the fight of the night for the Intercontinental title, of course, with Ricky Steamboat winning it, and of course, uh, and I'll never forget SummerSlam 1992, where the Bret Hart and the British Bulldog battle for the Intercontinental title, and that was the main event of that SummerSlam, and that was probably one of the best Intercontinental title matches ever.
best one ever for me.
Even well, I'm pretty sure there's some people who believe that the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage was the best.
Those two are the two best. Those are the two best, far and away.
Yeah, those are my top two when it comes to that. And I mean, a lot of great people have held this, like Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Owen Hart, a whole lot of names. I can go on and on and on with that. And then, of course, when it comes to the tag team championships, of course, you've had like teams like the Legion of Doom, the Dudley Boys, the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane. Uh, I mean, a lot of great teams have held the tag. I mean, Demolition. I can go on and on with that. And then, of course, the United States Championship. Of course, as prestigious as it's ever been. Of course, lots of great legends like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, John Cena. I mean, all these great people have held this title. And then, of course, when it comes to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, I mean, you named a lot of it. And I'm sure there's one moment I think you'll like Anthony Florio. I mean, that house show back in 1992, Bret the Hitman Hart against Ric Flair
Saskatoon, baby. You know it.
in Saskatoon. I remember watching that, and I was like thinking, can Bret Hart beat Ric Flair? And somehow he managed to do it. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
know I know you, Florio. You must have been going nuts when he
Oh,
won
I
the
was
title.
marking. I was marking. And, of course, a special shout out to, of course, Gorilla Monsoon and Lord Alfred Hayes. I mean, they were awesome on commentary during that fight.
Yeah, and I'm glad it was those two and not Bobby the Brain Heenan, because I think he would have taken away from that match, if I'm going to be quite honest. Uh, and then, I mean, we've seen a lot of great championship matches. I mean, and a lot of great people like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, I'll never forget when he won his first title by defeating the great Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. Uh, and then, of course, Hulk Hogan with his numerous title matches. And I'll never forget when he beat Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, where this was the only time, I mean, one of the few times that a champion has gone into the match as an underdog. Normally, a champion would always go in as the favorite, but not this one. I mean, even though I wasn't really that much into wrestling, but thanks to things like my WrestleMania Anthology box set, or of course the WWE Network, which has WrestleMania 3, I've watched it, and not many people gave Hogan a chance in that match. And then of
Not
course,
very many. Not very
yeah,
many.
yeah, not many people thought of it, and I'm sure you were one of them, Florio.
Well, I wasn't. Well, I was about a year or two away from being in wrestling at that point. But if I had been, I probably would have gone against Hogan. Well, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. It would have been a toss-up for me.
Yeah, and of course, like you just mentioned, Macho Man Randy Savage, what he did that night of WrestleMania 4, when he won.
Yes, same night as
Where
the
he
very
won,
first Clash of Champions. Yes.
oh yeah, where he won the WWE championship in that tournament, where he had to win not one,
Not
not
two,
two, not
not
three,
three,
but 4
4.
matches
Yes.
in the same night.
Actually,
And
with 3.
I'll be quite honest with you, Florio. I thought that was probably one of the greatest performances, if
Oh,
not the greatest, in WrestleMania history.
well, for many years, I thought that. He beat the Natural Butch Reed, Greg the Hammer Valentine, the One Man Gang, and of course the $1 Million Man Teddy DiBiase. But
I
I'll tell you
mean,
what. I mean, yes, it's one of the greatest of all time. But to me, uh, I think it's the second greatest. There's only one I thought was better, and that was Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30.
well, yeah, but the thing is, Macho Man had to win 4 matches in one night. I mean, yes, I can understand Daniel Bryan won 2 and against some of the greatest, like of course
All of
Triple H,
Evolution.
just to get into the
Triple H, Randy
Triple H
Orton, and
just to get in there, and then beating Randy Orton and Batista in that triple threat match. But nothing, in my opinion, can top Macho Man Randy Savage winning 4 matches in one night. I mean, if you were to tell me that night Macho Man would have won 4 matches to become the champ, I would have said you're nuts. There's no way someone could do something like that. And it's all credit to the guts and to the guts of the Macho Man Randy Savage. So to me, that was the top WrestleMania performance of all time in my estimation. Although, actually, I'm going to correct myself. I'm going to actually say it's tied. I'm actually going to put Daniel Bryan in there as Daniel Bryan's performance at WrestleMania 30
fair enough.
there
Fair
as
enough.
well. I mean, it's just tough. It's just tough to put one over the other, if I'm going to be quite honest.
Definitely.
So I'm going to say it's tied for first.
All right. So your overall
Well,
thoughts for Night of Champions?
I still got one more in my
Yes.
yeah. Of course, I know you're going to think I'm a homer for saying this, and I think you know where I'm going with this, Florio.
Undertaker.
Undertaker winning his first title at the Survivor Series just 1 year
Yeah.
after making his debut at that very same event. I mean,
Definitely.
some superstars basically wait about maybe a little more than a year to become champ, but that was the night where the Undertaker solidified his mark.
He was
That
off
just
and running from there.
Yeah, he was off and running when he won that championship from Hulk Hogan that very night at the 1991 Survivor Series.
All right. So your
So
overall thoughts on the Champions?
now my overall thoughts of that. I think this will be. I think this could be a solid pay per view here. I mean, I'm gonna say maybe maybe just a 7 out of 10 when it comes to that. My overall thoughts. I I mean, the thing is, there's some matches I think will be good. Others could be meh when it comes to this. So who knows? I'll actually say 7 to 7.5 in my opinion, because normally these well, when it comes to events like Night of Champions or Elimination Chamber or all these other pay-per-views, they're not really that spectacular. Even though Battleground was a damn good pay-per-view, but in my honest opinion, I think it's going to be 7 to 7.5. So, and of course, we all know the fight of the night is going to be John Cena and Seth Rollins. Ryback and Kevin Owens, I think, will be a solid match as well. same as with the 6-man tag team match. Um, yeah, so actually, I'm going to go somewhere between 7 to 8, in my honest opinion. So with that being said, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, definitely some great memories there, Michael Bullock. No question about it. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to, well, you already heard about my, my moments when it comes to, the history of the WWE Championship and all that. But, you know, the Divas Championship, Michelle McCool being the first one to ever win it. AJ Lee, 295-day run, of course, now surpassed by Nikki Bella, who in 1 hour will mark 301 days as champion. Tag team titles, the Dudleys, all the great legends who held that title, like the Legion of Doom and Demolition, and the Heart Foundation, and Smoking Guns. I mean, I could go on and on about all the great teams that have held that title, all held the tag team titles. Of course, those damn Dudleys being maybe the greatest of all time. Of course, Edge and Christian, New Age Outlaws, a lot of greats who have held that. Intercontinental belt, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, the late great Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich. I mean, The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold. All these, and even some unlikely names like Rikishi and Val Venus, and of course Edge and Christian, former champion as well, Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, Goldust. I mean, heck, Mr. Bullock, your Undertaker almost became an Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, but he did not. So that's all there is to say on that. But,
Yeah, that was at that In Your House event when he faced Goldust.
yeah, the casket match, the Beware of Dog 2.
He came close to winning it, but of course, some shenanigans at the end of that match.
Mankind, yeah, Mick Foley. But nonetheless, the Ultimate Warrior beating the Honky Tonk Man in 30 seconds at SummerSlam '88. I mean, of course, the late great Ravishing Rick Rude, another former champion, Rick of the Dragon Steamboat, Randy Macho Man Savage, of course, WrestleMania 3, and SummerSlam '92 with Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. Those, to me, are the two greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight title matches of all time, both 5-star classics in my estimation. But I don't know. Hard to put one over the other. And then, of course, the U.S. belt, with all the legends that have held that, from Harley Race, the first man to do it, Ric Flair, and Dusty Rhodes, and Piper, and Bret Hart, and Steamboat, and Blanchard, and TA, and all those guys. And then, of course, the WWE Championship, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Kurt Angle, Ric Flair, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and RVD, John Cena, Randy Orton. So many have held it. And tomorrow night, a new chapter will be added to each and every one of those championships. New ones will be written. And hopefully, for two, there are some certain individuals who I hope to see write that next chapter, like Charlotte. Hopefully, she can write the next chapter for the Divas Championship. Kevin Owens will hopefully write the next chapter for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And of course, the Stinger. I want to see the Stinger write that next chapter of the legacy of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As far as my overall thoughts go, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. That's how I honestly feel about it. Cena and Rollins will be the fight of the night. I don't have any doubts about that. I like that 6-man match. That 6-man's going to be a great match. Ryback and Owens should be a great match. Tag team titles, we'll see. The Divas, I hope they get a much better showing than Monday night. Don't really have a good feeling about Ziggler and Rusev, and the pre-show. We're not even going to worry about that. So, all right, that's going to do it for this Night of Champions preview edition of the Wrestling Forum. So, we'll do our formal sign-off at the end of our next show. We're not done yet. Oh no, there's more. Stay tuned, because in just a few moments, in a couple of minutes, in about 2 or 3 minutes, we will have what we should have had last week, and that is, this will technically be the season premiere of Strictly Sports NFL Saturday. It should have happened last week, but you know what? You know why it didn't happen. Don't want to get into that. So So stay tuned. Give us about 2 minutes or so, and we'll be back with you for Strictly Sports NFL Saturday as Mr. Bullock and I preview the 15 remaining games of Week 2 in our first NFL Power Rankings. So with that said, until then, give us a few minutes. We'll see you in a few minutes. So this is the bye for now, my friends, and that's it.